Guy Jose Mota joining us to talk all things Dodger baseball. How will the Dodgers handle Michael Conforto and the rest of this roster down the stretch? The Dodgers are getting their postseason hero back. All that more coming up next on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You guys ready to parade? We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and daily Dodgers show on YouTube. Everything you need to know about your boys in blue in less than an hour. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you want to support the channel every single day, hit that like button, drop a comment down below. But we will get right to it. One of our favorite guests. We've had tons of big-time guests, but your favorite is always the great Jose Mota. He does a Spanish broadcast for your Los Angeles Dodgers, along with Luis Cruz. Also, his More with Mota series is featured on the Dodgers YouTube channel. Did a fantastic episode with the great Dino Ebel, the Dodgers third base coach. And you can find his content on the Los Dodgers Instagram feed. First of all, Mr. Jose Mota, let's see that shirt. Our guy, the Hood Vince Scully, he's a friend of the show. The More with Mota logo is always fire, but now we got like a bedazzled shirt. Seems like you're stepping your game up with the merch, Jose.
It seems like the hood is hooking up. I mean, check this out, man. Look at this.
Yes.
Man, I mean, besides your wonderful intro, which I'm privileged to hear about and honored, I'm flattered. I'm so glad to be talking baseball with you, Dodgers baseball, at this time when there seems to be a little identity happening here with this ball club. There's going to be some nice infusions into the roster. Still a lot of questions, but nonetheless, the Dodgers today are in first place.
Yeah, and Jose, I mean, I've been fighting through it. Under 500 since the All-Star break. If I'm alive, I go live, right? And we use this show as a Dodgers therapy session. When times are tough, we get the doomers. But there's now, I think, a newfound lightness to Dodgers baseball. You get the big win on Sunday, the Dalton Rushing home run. They win that game. And then yesterday, Dave Roberts said it was their most complete win in a while defensively. You had Mookie playing great short, Conforto and Teo making big plays in the outfield. You get this slug, yet Emmet Sheehan have a career-high 10 strikeouts. First question I want to ask you, though, is does this feel like a Dodgers team that senses that it's go time, that it's now a sprint, that it's time to get hot right now and go defend that title, and that it's okay for them to be a team that maybe is flipping that switch right now?
Yes, this team has done it before, and, the personnel has not changed. Stats, injuries, there's a lot of things that are going to affect the ebb and flow of the season. But I'm going to go back to what Kirsch said right after he threw against the Padres the first time, okay, that Friday night. And he's like, everybody, we're fine. Okay, we're fine. We've gone through this before, and you cannot put a price on that because, I mean, if we reduce everything to what we're seeing here right now, Doug, think about this. In the biggest doubts of the season, okay, they get swept by the Angels of all teams, right, in Anaheim. And then it's like, and now come the Padres, and it's like total collapse. They're just going to die. Well, what happens then, there's 6 games and 10 games against the Padres. They beat them 4 out of 6. I think that's a statement of saying we're not going anywhere. We know who we are. Plus, this team has never been satisfied on the way they play. And it's great to be caught up in the standings and say there are 9 games up. That's over with. We got to forget about that, okay? You got to play today. What you have today. The Padres are still a very good team. The Padres are going to make the Dodgers play very good baseball from here on because the Padres are not going to go away. So I think the push is going to be great. The Dodgers know there's some pieces coming back that are going to be crucial to additions and to the roster. But at the same time, it's like, hey, as you mentioned, little identity happening right now, 30 to go. can have asked for a better situation to know that you got to put your best foot forward now because there's so many things that could have gone wrong just 10 days ago, and look where they're sitting today.
Yeah, Jose. And the question I've been dying to ask you is this. So on Friday and Saturday, they had 2 extra base hits against the Padres total, and they were home runs by Alex Freeland. And you had the media kind of pushing Dave Roberts saying, oh, are there too many big swings? Is this team too slug reliant? And then Sunday happens. You get the 2 home runs by Freddie. You get the big bomb by Don Rushing. Shohei hits a bomb yesterday. Andy Paz hits a couple home runs. Well, all of a sudden, they're slugging again, and then they are winning again. My question to you, Jose, is does this team just need to accept their identity that, hey, we are going to slug, we are going to bludgeon teams with a bat, or do they have to almost find a happy balance in between we can make in-game adjustments and maybe take shorter swings at certain times and let the slug come naturally? I'm just curious to see what your perspective is on that.
Listen, man, I love slugging. I love the slug because to me, slugging is a separator. Okay, that 3-run home run, 2-run homer in the middle of the game is like, okay, now it's not 3-1, now it's 5-1, right? But at the same time, they need to find happy medium because when you face premier pitching, guess what's not going to be there? Slugging is not going to be there. It's going to be a lot of swings and misses. And yeah, Dave Roberts is right. More team at bats are needed still. You go back to the Pivetta start when we knew at some point Pivetta was going to find out. He's a punch out guy, very emotional guy. But the first inning, with patience and some just good control contact, you were able to at least get one on the board. And before you know it, because of the patience and pitches adding up, he's out of the game. Now you go into their bullpen. Now they bring Estrada up, and everything changes. But I talked to Dave Roberts about this yesterday, and he asked, what did you see in that one game? I go, well, I think the first inning and the at-bats you saw in the first inning carried into later in the game because it's like, hey, guys, we've done this before. It wasn't yesterday. It was just 5 innings ago. Let's go back to that approach. We have to make guys throw strikes. And that's what the piece of Max Muncy has really missed with his ball club and some of these stretches. Because Max Muncy, forget about if he's hitting 100 or 250 or 350, he prolongs innings and he allows guys to get a worn-out type of welcome from the pitchers because now the guy has missed so many pitches because of a walk. It could be a strikeout. But now the little hanger that was not going to be there is there because of deeper at bats. So just go back to the Dodgers' numbers in the World Series. They were not great offensively. They did just enough to get the innings that they needed to win and win some thirds of each game, right? But with all that comes the ability to sometimes instinctively as a player say, the manager may not have called this. I have a good sense of this guy's timing at first base. I'm going, okay? I know that maybe he doesn't give me the bug sign, but we need to move that guy over. And I think today, players expect everything to be dictated, and that's just the way the game is. But I think instinctively, you got to find out where your team is, where you are. Are you 0 for 20? Are you 1 for 17 and they're giving you a above base hit or just a chance to move somebody over? Do it. So, in short, they need to play a balanced offensive game that is not one-dimensional, cut down the swings, and at times, sometimes, Doug, is, many hitting coaches have told me through the years, great George Brett told me, there's time in which you have to take a 2-strike approach with no strikes. Example, bases loaded, infield in. They're playing infield in more often now than ever with nobody out, which is, it used to be like, you never do that. Well, teams are doing that, and look what's happening. It's working. So infield in, infield back, guy at third base, listen to us. Just take that 2-strike approach. You might find yourself a single, maybe run into something, but you got to put the ball in play, and that's what I'm talking about beyond. It's not just a small ball and bunny hindrance. It's about just being smart in situations to create the most out of it because you don't know those windows are going to open up later in the game.
Yeah, and Jose, my question next is that the follow-up to that is how does that get executed? Because we know that this is such a deep lineup of talented hitters that all are really capable of slugging and having a 2-strike approach and doing dynamic things at the plate. Is that communicated in the dugout from the position coaches, from the hitting coaches, that communicated by a player? Is that just something that every player has to have in their mind based on their first couple of bats with the pitcher? How do you think that kind of changes from the start of a game where you see, like, for example, Darvish, Nestor Cortez, when they were having issues, cutter off the plate and they're just kind of not adjusting well? How do you think that gets executed quicker in a game where things aren't going right offensively for them?
The best people to police the game are the players. You could be a coach and talk about probabilities and swing paths and things like that. The players have the best idea as to what's happening in the batter's box and how a guy's pitching to you. So that information needs to be passed along. Now, as a hitting coach, you go into a series and say, guys, this is a punch-out type of staff. We need to have this type of approach, this type of philosophy to make it work. Okay, we're not going to win 10-1 or 8-2. We're going to win 3-1. We're going to give our guys on the mound a chance of not pitching with so much pressure by being a better executed offensive team. So in that regard, it's the players. At this stage, it's the players. You've played so many games, throw the mechanics out. It's about having good at-bats and grinding it out. Now, what you don't see very often now is, say, a guy like Cortez, right? Darvish. If they're eating you alive with off speed and they're not missing out over plate, you need to really make an adjustment in a batter's box. It is not a philosophy that's implemented nowadays, but it's a philosophy that the best hitters in the game through generations did. Oral Hershiser and I was having this conversation recently and going, I said, Oral, how much did you read a guy moving the batter's box as to what he was looking for? Your changeup, your sinker, curveball. He goes, I would always do that because then I would counteract that and pitch aggressively, maybe not to the plan that they expected. So it's a cat and mouse game, Doug, but I think you always have to have a mentality that somebody's trying to beat you with something, and then how can you counteract? Sometimes is by saying, hey, I'm going to air it out here because I need to go out there and let it swing and let it rip. And other times going, you know what does my team need? And you can never say never to having more team at-bats because that is exactly the type of at-bat that frustrates the other team the most, and the way you spoil pitches, and also the way you get starters out of a game by having a lot of pitches pile up.
So I love about this game. It's such a mental game, even though it's all about the mechanics and all the work you put in. At the end of the day, it's been between the ears, it feels like. Mookie Betts really feels like he's turned a corner. 9 multi-hit games in August, had the big home run last night. We know that the ovation from Dodger Stadium crowd, meeting with JD Martinez. But what are you seeing from him mechanically in his at-bats that kind of gives you confidence that, hey, this is real? He really has turned a corner this season. We're starting to see more of the offensive version of Mookie Betts that we've seen from him throughout most of his career with the Dodgers.
2 things. Number 1 is confidence, conviction in his swings. Okay. Number 2 is the swing path. Okay. Mookie is finishing swings now way more often. That's why you see him driving balls through the middle and not cutting off the lazy fly ball to right field, which was so existent, for 4 months, right? Now the finish on that pitch yesterday, he against the lefty, he able to just get around that baseball, keep his hands in to drive the baseball. So that's a big thing there. But it starts with your mind. You got to have confidence to know that no matter what's happened, I got to clear it and know that I'm still Mookie Betts. And the Dodgers ovation, the fans, that was marvelous. Whoever came up with the idea, it's great. Players feed off of that. Believe me that your salary and your contract and your years and your plethora of awards have nothing to do with the inner feeling of a guy that needs a little push from his fans and support. And the Dodgers fans, almost 4 million strong this season, there they go, are showing that once again. Mookie is a guy that feeds off of that. And certainly, when you start seeing results, a little blooper here and there, guys in front of you getting good pitches to hit, then you know that you are back to being yourself. Don't think about driving the ball. Don't worry about the numbers or the barrels or anything velocities. Just be Mookie Betts, but make a couple of adjustments, knowing that team's counting on you. And you know what, Doug, you know so well, his energy, when it's portrayed the right way, it is, unmatched on what we can do now with the glove. He's playing better shortstop with the bats, and running the bases. Mookie Betts in 2020, and that whole playoff, his base running was remarkable. And that's one aspect that as he progresses to get better offensively, it's also going to show up and change innings.
Absolutely. No, he brings such an edge, and I think his teammates really feed off his energy. I love the emotion that he showed yesterday after that great defensive play he made last night. And then also, I remember just being in that clubhouse after he said, my season's over. I kind of gasped like, wait, what does he mean by this? And then it kind of clicks. No, he means that I'm not worried about how those numbers look. I'm not worried about trying to chase anything this year. I'm trying to help this team win by doing something every single game. And he's done that offensively, defensively. It just feels like things have started to click for him mentally. And it feels like they've gotten Mookie Betts back, which is massive for this team. Now, I want to ask you about Michael Conforto. I'm not going to put you on the spot or anything.
Wait, I want to show you something. We're talking about playing the game, right? I'm going to show you this. You see this right here?
All right, to our young viewers, do you have any idea what that is?
I'm going to put that on the Dodger vision.
Noel's saying he doesn't know what that is.
Isn't that a DVD? A Blu-ray?
It's a VHS.
It's a good old fashioned VHS. That is some classic stuff. We got to find a way to get that up on YouTube. I'll work with Jose because I want to see how to play Dodger baseball.
I brought that up because this organization through generations has played the game one way. You come here, you get into the culture, but there's only one way. Play the game right. And I think I had to show you that because, I mean, I still watch it. It's like Oro Hershiser and Pedro Guerrero and Vince Scully narrating all this. Tommy Lasorda motivating guys. And, I mean, to me, that's like the roots right there. That'll never get old, man. That'll never get old. So as we're talking about base running and Mookie Betts and players like that, impactful players, Steve Saxon Company, that's what we're talking about.
It's the foundation of this organization, playing the game the right way. I've got to see that video. I have to find a way to get that converted onto YouTube. Now, I do want to ask you, though, I mean, over the weekend, everyone talking about the Dalton Rushing home run, right? Let's not forget, it was Conforto who drew that walk to start off that inning. Yesterday, Conforto gets a double, leads the Pajes home run. Now, we know the struggles he's had this season. We know they signed him to a 1-year, $17 million deal, hoping to try to get that JD Martinez level 1-year deal or that Teoscar Hernandez level 1-year deal. Hasn't really worked out if you look at his numbers. But do you think, Jose, there is enough time for him to get enough opportunities, make the most of those opportunities, and stick on this team and be a bat that can help this team in the postseason? Or do you think there's a lot of pressure on him down the stretch with guys getting back to hold on to his spot in left field?
You talk about spot. You want to put me on the spot? Why not? Listen.
I love it.
Michael Conforto. Okay? There's not many guys that will survive what he's gone through. Now, he works his tail off. He's a great kid, but the results have not been there. You know, this is not going to be a JD Martinez type of situation. It hasn't worked out that way. Conforto, in fact, and I was talking to Rick Monday about this recently. I go, have you noticed that Conforto's best at bats, the deepest at bats, end up in a walk? It's like, we want to see more. It's like, we want to see more. Like, end up in a big single like he did against the Mets here, a few months ago. And just something that really lifts him up. We're talking about Mookie getting lifted up. This guy, everybody's pulling for him because he works his tail off. He's made adjustments with a bat, with a shoulder tap and things like that. But the results are the results, and they don't lie. So you know what's going to happen? I hope it happens. Now that obviously, and I'm a big proponent and advocate of competition on the mound, with the relievers, with the starters pushing each other. Now that there's going to be a little more presence for guys that can play left field, now it's going to be as to how can he stay. Obviously, he's not going to salvage the season, but you can't give up on a guy that can run into something. And I know that's exactly what teams think about with players like this. He might run into something. Well, a lot of times he hasn't, right? But now, hopefully, the presence and the steps and looking behind his back to say there's going to be a little competition here. I need to step up. It's probably what he needs. And I think also, with Kiké coming back and his son on his way back, it's going to be about those guys competing also for some playing time. And we cannot base everything based on what somebody's done in October or September. It's 2025. You cannot go back to anything else. But when there's a history now, you trust those guys that are talented to come in and do a job. But at the same time, what Conforto is, he's got to make more adjustments. And hopefully that'll come now, because if he wants to play, obviously he's going to have to perform at a level that perhaps has not been there before, and nobody knocking on the door.
That's a fantastic point. I haven't heard anyone mention that. And it also kind of reminds me of what happened in July, right? I mean, an 827 OPS in July. Why? The trade deadline was coming, right? He said, I want to keep that spot. Don't trade for someone. Don't trade me. He got his act together. Maybe those guys coming back will put okay, now or never type thing. We've already seen some results the last couple of games. So I'm rooting for the guy. I know that Andrew Friedman, they want him to work out. But the good thing is they do have some options. Now, you are someone that always preaches the importance of defense. And this is a team from the outfield. They've had their ups, they've had their downs. Teoscar Hernandez, though, since that rough game in Colorado, especially when he's kind of taken a step back, made some nice catches yesterday. Do you think that Teo should stay in right? I mean, Dave kind of was open to the possibility of moving him to left, but do you think that he could handle both? It's just a matter of being locked in defensively and also getting healthy too, doing the foot, the groin. I mean, what are you seeing from Teo defensively, and where do you think he ends up?
That Teo needs to get better. There's no secret about it. Teo knows and understands the responsibility that comes with not just thinking about driving in runs or getting back on a nice swing path and getting results. Defense is important, man. I mean, you got to go out there and save some pitchers. You got to, make sure you have the ability to stop prolonging innings for the other team. And, I was talking to Dave Bassett about this. If you think about where you are today in your body, where it is, you're not near maybe at 75, 80%, maybe there. That's what your team wants from you. That 75 or 80, I want it every single night. It cannot be a stretch in which we talk about, well, Taylor had a nice week defensively because of Colorado, what happened there. Taylor was talked to about. He knows. He can read between the lines and when he says something, but he's also now put in the time and effort to get better. I mean, things as simple as reading balls off the bat in batting practice. You find out about angles, and depending on what city you're in, which ballpark, how the wind is blowing, number two, how the grass is going to stop the ball or not when you come in. But you got to have the ability to have the instinct to know how the ball's coming off the bat so you can read and have a good first step. A lot of times your route may not be very ideal. We've seen it a couple of times with players. I mean, Alex Call the other day here in the Sun made a great play. The route was not ideal, but he caught the ball. Why? Because he had the first step instinct to go out there and say, if this ball lands over there, I'm going to be in a position which I can catch it. So we've seen Teo now with the urgency to come in on balls a little bit more. I think communication is also key. And knowing that if you're playing no doubles, your second baseman must be aware of that. If there's a blooper, your second baseman needs to say, hey, I need to be more aggressive to help him out going back. And at the same time, if the ball's in the air for a long time, you got to make sure that it's your ball. It could be that you have more momentum. There's a ways in which you can also stop the guy from scoring on a tagging at third base. And then the other issue, Doug, is stopping guys from taking the extra base. I'm telling you, and I learned this from talking to Mike Trout. People were taking an extra base on Trout for so many years. And all you learned was from Ron Renick himself, just give me a good aggressive 2 steps coming in. That's enough for a runner and for a coach to go, that's the deterrent. Let me stop right now. Your arm's not going to get better. You're not going to be more efficient, but you're just going to show that action, that instinct to say, don't go on me because I'm going to go out there and catch you and throw in. So there's a lot of little things that you can do in the outfield just to get better and to prevent runners from advancing and from catching baseball. But it starts with the fundamentals of the game and making sure you spend the time, you apply, and you understand that if there's improvement to be made, you cannot take it too personal or get your feelings hurt. The fact is, it's for the team and for your own good too.
See, that's what boggles my mind, Jose. And I love hearing all that stuff about just the instincts of playing that position. And you look at Teoscar Hernandez, you would think that, oh, maybe he's a below average runner. He actually is faster than Mookie Betts. And of course, base stealing and base running speed is different than outfield speed because it's based on a lot of instincts. It sounds like to me that he does have the requisite athleticism to be able to play that right field position. We've seen it. Yeah.
Last 3 or 4 games, we've seen it. Now,
yeah.
Should he change positions at times? I think with the options coming in and Tommy Edman coming in and Dave Roberts saying, when Tommy Edman comes back, I see him playing a lot of center field. What does that mean? In right field, that's Andy Paez, which means Teoscar could end up in left field where he did a very fine job last year.
Exactly. I think that if you're a Dodgers fan, it's always like, hey, how do we get back to what won us the World Series, right? And Emmet in center, you had Kiké and then you had Emmet to start, then Emmet went to shortstop. But then I just look at like Paez is like, wait a minute, this guy's not just good. I think he's Gold Glove caliber potentially in right field. With that arm, you put Teo in left. And here's the thing about Teo. It's like, even if he's playing passable defense, the reason why they gave him $62 million is because he's the type of guy that can get you game-tying doubles in Game 5 of the World Series. He's the guy that can get you a home run in Game 5 of the NLDS. It's because of what he can do at the plate, and I think that's what will determine if he had a successful season or not. So putting him in a more comfortable situation, I think, might be ideal. Would you agree with that?
You have to understand, if you're going to prolong your career, at times you're going to be flexible enough to understand what it's going to take. And keep this in mind, too. Nobody here is going to DH full-time. There's one guy. Okay, that's unicorn. So in their minds, a lot of times, like, if I'm not playing good defense, and this is in general I'm talking about, players say, as I'm aging, maybe there's some days in DH. Well, there's not. Not here with the Dodgers right now, as long as Shohei is healthy. So in their minds, I mean, you got to have, even as you age, the decision players that understand, a Freddie Freeman, a Will Smith, and Max Muncy, that those days are going to be very limited unless there's an injury on Shohei. And the fact that you are here as a Dodger today in 2025, understanding that you have to go out there and show that you can be a defensive guy and an offensive guy at the same time, because certainly those days are limited for you. But, I think also, and this is something that Albert Pujols shared with me, okay, as he declined defensively, he understood more and more about as the game was changing. Where are they going to position me? Doug, today, players have so much help and support in where they're placed to give them the best chance to catch a baseball. Everything's so specialized that you got to be able to have an open mind to understand it, number one, accept it, digest it, and don't get tired of adjusting during the game. I mean, there's going to be times in the game when instincts are going to tell you one thing, and the card might say one thing, but trust your instinct. And if you don't go out there and take balls off the bat and BP and go out there and work on those instincts, it's not going to be there just because you want to turn it on.
That's great stuff. I mean, there's a world of information that's at their disposal and is just trying to get them to be in the best spot. Now, you did mention the unicorn, and you are the world's foremost authority on Shohei Ohtani. I know, I'm saying it for you. No one has seen more Shohei Ohtani than
because of this.
Oh, okay. First of all, we got some Dodgers Ohtani bobbleheads. They've only dropped like 50 of them. We got it. Where's your look? Oh, you mean this? Where's your Ohtani Dodgers bobblehead? But I got to ask you about Shohei. So didn't have his best start in Colorado. I mean, of course, it's Colorado. It's Coors Field. The ERA is what it is, but then you look at the advanced stuff, under the hood stuff, it's far better. The expected stuff, the FIP. What's your assessment so far of Shohei Ohtani on the mound? And has he exceeded your expectations as to where you thought he would be at this point in his recovery after his second TJ?
Well, the numbers, he has exceeded my expectations. The one thing that I noticed a couple starts is command. Command has been an issue for him. I really need to see that two-seam fastball play. That two-seam fastball in today's game plays so well. Ask Teoscar Hernandez what's happened here actually in August with the two seams and the fastballs in. And Shohei, the one thing in Anaheim that happened was I think he was so caught up in Trout that it was like all about Trout, and all of a sudden it's like the focus is not there, and the Angels are like, if you're going to be caught up in Trout, we're going to get you, and they got him. Colorado, not the easy excuse of elevation and the breaking balls not being as sharp, but
yep.
I do like the way he's sequencing pitches. I know that the fastball is the most important pitch to set up the slider, which to me is my favorite pitch that he throws. The splitter so far, I'm glad it's non-existent because it's the pitch you got to be careful with, especially with a couple of surgeries. But man, he competes with the best, and I know, in fact, that he wants to be out there, be a consistent 5-inning guy, which is what they're going to be asking from him. There's areas of improvement. There's areas in which he has to try a little bit less, and there's areas in which he has to make sure that that fastball is not missing so much over the plate, because 102, 103 today, guys are not scared about that. If he missed, somebody's going to make an adjustment and hurt you. Yeah,
because the life on that fastball, I mean, he didn't have his fastball at Coors. I think that kind of explained a lot of his outing, but the velo is up on the heater. I mean, what do you make of that?
I think mechanics, understanding who he is, obviously, a new arm helps.
Yeah.
And the fact
it's like
that,
a bionic.
Think about this. Be pitching around May, right? I mean, bullpens in spring training about holding back. He was throwing bullpens full gore in spring training. So all that time strengthening, and the fact that he understands himself shows way stronger than he was 4 years ago. And that owes that to the mechanics that he has, the information that he applies to make sure that there's life on that fastball. He is into every single detail. Believe me, if not, watch the tablet and who's behind him every single pitch he throws in a bullpen session. He wants to know everything, because it's not to say, hey, I'm doing it. It's to say, how can I get this better? How can I get more spin? How can I get more apex on that breaking ball? How can I get more tilt on the curveball? And one thing, too, that I noticed that he's been doing on long tosses, which he used to do a lot with the Angels, he'll long toss with a curveball. And it's something they do in Japan. And even though the curveball doesn't play right now, is a pitch that he always has in the back pocket. It's a slow, Kirsch type 70, 71, that at some point I would not be shocked if he breaks it. But it is a pitch that when I asked him a few years ago, why does he play catch a curveball? He goes, it's a former allowing me to see what my release point needs to be at, and to see my hand in front of me to rip the curveball and understand that everything else comes out for that window, and that makes me better. So keep an eye on that. Hopefully he'll break it in, because I remember the first time he threw it to Martín Maldonado was like, oh, wait a minute. He missed it, actually, in the game.
That's fat. Because you look at the run value and the kind of the small sample of it, there's a lot of potential for it to be an incredible weapon for him. We got Jose Mota here, Dodgers analyst. He's got to get to the stadium soon here on Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. Okay, I'm going to get you out of here on this one, Jose.
What you got?
Let's look a little ahead here. Postseason. How do you use Shohei in the rotation? Is he your game one starter, even if it's home or away? Mark Pryor talked about possibly using him in a clinching situation out of the pen later in a series. What do you kind of envision them doing with Shohei on the mound in October?
First of all, I want the Dodgers to get to October. Hopefully that'll happen, right? Things are looking very good. I don't like to program things like this because suppose that they have to play a wild card series. What do? Plan it out? You can't, right? You got to go. First of all, get to that point fighting, right? And then to play who knows where, and then to play against who knows whom. Shohei should be a starting pitcher that you know is going to give you 5 innings, throw the ball well, and plan it from there on. But I don't want to see the idea thrown out of Shohei coming out of the bullpen unless it comes to an area where now you're in late October and you just need a couple of innings or an inning from somebody, and it happens to be a bullpen day. Then you're going to consider, because Shohei, with all his methods and the time and preparation that he needs, is not a prime candidate to be thrown out there and say, hey, you got 10 minutes, go warm up. It just doesn't happen that way. But now, we know what happened. I mean, look at Walker Buehler. Well, anything can happen in postseason as you prolong it too. But I think overall, just to have him in a situation where I don't care where he fits, how he fits, but to have him healthy, to allow you to give you 5 innings and go close to 100 pitches is, to me, the main thing. So if I answer your question, man, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I think everyone kind of wants to just bind, you want a Mike Trout WBC situation. I think it had to be very, very specific. I think it would have to be based on the performance of the Dodgers bullpen. If everything works out right, Tanner Scott pitches like he did last year, why wouldn't you go with Tanner Scott, right? Why wouldn't you go with Blake Trinan, who's done that, right?
Right. And what if that Trout bat comes in the 6th inning?
There you go. Yeah.
Way to do this. I mean, think about most of those games the Dodgers won when the opposing team was rallying in the postseason. It wasn't all the 9th inning. It was all middle of the game guys that came in and stepped up and did the job. So who knows, that it could be Shohei in that situation. It could be somebody else. But nonetheless, I just want to keep my mind open and flexible to know that he's going to do whatever's asked of him. And if the situation arises as a reliever, he'll come and get it done. But hopefully the Dodgers have plenty of depth in the rotation, with him included, in the bullpen, to avoid any kind of issues when you have to limit him and then lose it for a couple of innings.
Yeah, I'll stick with my dream. I'll stick with my preseason dream. That is Clayton Kershaw in a blowout of the Houston Astros in game 4 comes out and gets those final 3 outs. That has been my dream. I'm going to continue to try to manifest that.
That'd be so cool.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I mean, who better? I mean, number 22, come on.
Okay, so we'll get you at it on another phone. What did you think of? There was a lot of screams last night when V was throwing out his first pitch. Was that you and Luis Cruz? I mean, what do you think? I think he set the tone last night.
Oh, he did. I mean, how many Dodger stars came out pregame yesterday?
There was a lot. They were all there.
All there for a reason, for V and TV. I mean, it was fantastic. And I mean, the amount of cameras and videos and people of any age, it was just outstanding. Only in LA, only the Dodgers, and to get a W was even better. So he'll remember that one. So you know what happens too is perhaps because of that, he might be back.
Exactly. And I need to see a Jose Mota throwing out the first pitch at some point.
I don't have it in me. I was side armor, so I just, there's way more important people than me. And
disagree.
No, but thank you.
Awesome. Well, there he goes, the great Jose Mota. We appreciate all of your knowledge, insight, expertise. Guys, go follow this man if you don't already. Jose Mota 05. Check out more with Mota on the Dodgers YouTube channel with Dino Ebel. His last interview was fantastic. And go follow Los Dodgers.
We have Yamamoto coming.
Boom.
We have Jack Dreyer coming. We have Dalton Rushing coming. We have Ben Kasparius coming. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of insights, and also messages for the young kids and players and coaches. Like the case with Anthony Banda. I just found out Anthony Banda, one of his heroes, is Jesse Chavez.
Wow.
Think about this. Reason? Jesse Chavez was told, you're not big enough. You're not strong enough. In fact, you're not good enough to play. Jesse Chavez had an outstanding season and career and has played for a lot of winning teams. and we just found out by talking to Anthony Banda, this is one of his heroes. Think about that. So stuff like that to me is good to get it out.
So that explains the glasses then.
Point.
That explains the glasses.
Hey, that
right?
could be it too. That's right. That's right.
Awesome stuff, Jose. Appreciate it. We'll check in with you at some point down the line. Thank you so much, guys. Go follow him. Check out all of his stuff. We got a lot of content from him dropping here at Dodgers Nation as well. But see you later. Enjoy the game, and we'll check in with you soon, Jose.
Ta-da.
There we go. There he is, the great Jose Mota, dropping baseball knowledge that you're not going to find anywhere else. This guy has literally forgotten more baseball than most people have ever known. But welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live here on a Tuesday where all is right in Dodger land. 2 straight wins, 2 big wins. Last night, the Dodgers getting that dub in pretty explosive fashion. We got some comments here. We got George says D-Mac was screaming like a schoolgirl when V threw out the first pitch. I don't know about that, but I do think that was a laser. That was an absolute dart by V. And the V stood for victory for the Dodgers yesterday, and I do think he set the tone. I really do. And yeah, no, it was cool. I mean, very exciting stuff out at Dodger Stadium with V throwing out the first pitch. Heasley 23. I don't think I can handle a Dodgers-Astros series even if they win. George F8. D-Max still has his Blockbuster membership card. I wish. That'd be kind of cool. Way back in the day, I was a little kid. But all right, guys, let's hit the leadoff here. Thanks to Jose Mota. But the Dodgers did get someone back that's going to be in the lineup today. That's going to be huge. Let's get into the leadoff.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So Kiké Hernandez is going to be in the lineup tonight. Dave Roberts said he will be in these 2 games against the Reds. And he spoke to reporters yesterday. And the message from Kiké really is what we've talked about on this show for a couple of weeks, that for a long time, there were some doubts that he was going to return. But I think this really speaks to the toughness, the dedication, the grit that he has, because he got not 1 shot, not 2 shots, not even 3 shots. He got 4 shots to be able to come back and play for the Los Angeles Dodgers this season. I think some players in Major League Baseball after a couple will be like, hey, this isn't working. I'm done. Not Kiké. He knew he had to be back for this team, and he's back. And here was Kiké talking about his road back to the Dodgers lineup.
Feels good to be back. I got to a point where I didn't know if it was going to happen. I mean, we were pretty close from it not happening, but yeah, just happy to be back. It was a very frustrating month because there was not much I could do for my injury. There are some procedures that I went through that didn't do anything. I went through 4 shots in a month, and first 3 didn't do anything, and luckily the 4th one was the answer, and I was, after the last shot, I was pain-free like 4 days afterwards, and I mean, it was, I almost cried in the morning because it was the first morning that I woke up pain-free, and yeah, a little after that, it was a couple days after that, started swinging 2 weeks ago to be exact, on a Monday, so yeah, it's been a quick ramp-up, but I'm just glad to be back with the boys. It's one of those things where, you know, it wasn't a full off season of not seeing pitching, so the timing is not where I want it to be. But I mean, it's good enough to compete. And yeah, I was just basically like you said, I went to the rehab assignment trying to feel good and get the timing back. And regardless of the results, coming out of the game pain free was a win for me, and it happened every day. So I'm active today. I know that I'm active today, and I'm starting in left tomorrow, but that's all I know. We haven't really talked about what it's going to look like after I get back. I played a game in center, I played a game at third, and a game at left during my assignment. So, you kind of look around the roster and you know where your spots are. So, hopefully I can mix in at first base here and there and give Freddie a little bit of rest. We can fight over it, but no, yeah, I'm just obviously. Part of my role is to move around, and I don't really care where I play as long as I'm in there, so I'm here for it. I mean, I think if you look at the numbers my last month that I played, I haven't been the most prolific hitter in the world, but I'm also not a sub-100 hitter for a month. It got very challenging. It got to the point where I felt like I couldn't catch up to the fastball, and then when I was making the right adjustments to be able to catch up to the fastball, I couldn't. I had no what do you call it? I couldn't adjust to the breaking pitches, so it was one or the other, and it was just, it's hard to live that way instead of just, hitting. And yeah, I played till basically I felt like I couldn't even hold the bat anymore, and I mean, it was kind of dumb on my end, but I've always felt that if I feel like I can play, I'm not going to go on the IL, and by the time we went in and looked for the MRI, it's a little too late, but yeah.
There he is, Mr. Keektober, talking about his road back into the Dodgers lineup. I see the comments down below. No, I was not talking about tequila shots. Those were shots to reduce the pain, okay? But speaking of shots, Kiké should never have to buy a drink in Los Angeles for the rest of his life for what he's done for this team in October, because I think it's not being talked about enough. And yes, everyone knows how clutch Kiké can be in October. We saw last year against the Yankees, against the Padres, where he got the scoring starting, the big home run off of Yu Darvish to give the Dodgers a 1-0 lead in a game where offense was at a premium. Years back against the Cubs, I mean, the home run he hit against the Braves in the 2020 NLCS was absolutely critical. I mean, there's so many moments offensively and defensively. You look at his postseason OPS. He has an .874 postseason OPS with 15 home runs and 230 at-bats. His postseason OPS is identical to Giancarlo Stanton's regular season OPS. You're essentially getting Giancarlo Stanton's regular season OPS in the lineup with Kiké Hernandez. And why I think this is pivotal is there is no guarantee that he's going to hit like he did back when he was having tons of success for the Dodgers in the postseason. So I think this is a long enough sample size to kind of see where that bat is, to kind of see where he is physically, because the bat absolutely fell off a cliff when he was playing through that injury. So we have to see him really turn things up offensively and see that swing that has been responsible for a lot of big moments in October. And the corresponding roster move is Buddy Kennedy, who got 6 starts from August 17th through the 23rd. All at third base. He was a platoon with Alex Freeland. He is gone. So he's going to be the answer to a trivia question one day for the most random 2025 Dodgers potentially. But we'll see, because as Kiké pointed out, I mean, he was hitting sub 100. I mean, he really was not doing anything at the plate production-wise. So they're going to need to see him turn things around. And if he does, then the question becomes, where do you put Kiké? You don't have Kiké on your roster because he's just a vibes guy, a guy who's going to dance, a guy who's going to make everyone loose. You have him on your roster because you want him to have success and be an impact bat. And you look at when he was placed on the IL on July 7th, I mean, his last 52 at-bats, he was 5 for 52, hit 96, 0.96, 161 on base, a 192 slug. Now, he had 5 hits and 14 at-bats with 2 doubles and 2 walks for AAA Oklahoma City, was hitting 357, 438, 500 in his rehab. He played 1 game at third base, left field, center field, and 2 games as a DH. So they mixed him around. He started games at 5 positions for the Dodgers this season before heading to the IL. So that's the big question, is he was playing left field. Dave Roberts mentioned that on Friday, and could that have been an indication of what they were considering doing with Teo, with Conforto, kind of moving him around? But also, how does Tommy Edman look? Because let's not forget, when Tommy Edman moved to shortstop last season during the postseason, when Miguel Rojas suffered that injury, it was Tommy Edman who was the Dodgers shortstop throughout that run, and Kiké was their center fielder. Well, all indications are right now that Tommy Edman is going to be playing center field for the Dodgers. So do they wait to see if they need a spark from him early on and then he gets his starts in the postseason? Or do they try to capture that magic early and give him starts? So I think a lot of it has to do with how he's looking at the plate and how other guys are looking as well. I think the big wild card in all this is Ha-Seong Kim. Everyone just expects Ha-Seong Kim to come back and resume his role. Well, he was dealing with the shoulder injury. He was struggling mightily. The strikeout numbers skyrocketed, and Conforto is starting to hit. I would rather have Ha-Seong Kim if it was my move, but I guarantee you that if you want the answer to what the team is looking at and who they're considering at the end of the roster, those are the guys that they're looking at. I think they want to see Kim come back, make sure the shoulder's fully healthy, and also see if Ha-Seong Kim is going to hit and if they've adjusted to him and if he's adjusting back. So I think ultimately Max Muncy comes back, holds down third base. If he does have any type of lingering effects from that injury, Kiké is an option to plug in at third, as is Tommy Edman. But they're going to find some way to get Kiké out there, especially in a big situation. And it's something to look at. But the most important thing is this guy is absolutely essential to the Dodgers' success. I know people think that this is just a feel-good signing because of what he did. No, they signed him because of what they hope that he's still going to do for this team. So Mr. Geektober is back. But all right, guys, the best time of the show. It's your time to shine. Noel is looking for a comment of the show. We're going to post it on social media, our Instagram story, our X.
Let's do it.
All of our social media. Who's going to get that title? Who's taking the belt for the comment of the show? Let's get into it.
For the walk-off today, too, I got a little Ohtani shirt preview that we're dropping tomorrow that will pop up after the 7th inning stretch.
I like that. We'll do that. We got a couple walk-offs. So we'll hit this. We'll do some walk-offs. But here we go, guys. It's your time to shine. All your thoughts, comments, and questions about your boys in blue. Fired takes. Out-of-pocket stuff. Let's get into it. The best chat in the game. The 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
All right, here we go. We got Foxy Cinnamon 7307 says, have Jose throw it out on Manny's birthday. Nice tribute. I like that idea. I like that. I'll run that by him. I like that. Claudia 11. D-Mac low-key wants to make a Dodgers Nation Conforto shirt. No, I don't. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm not. What Conforto? What do we have? The Conforto goat shirt? No. Okay. I'm not the biggest Conforto guy. I'm just letting you know how this organization's thinking. How he's thinking, how they're thinking. This is the reason why that LA Times story was all fugazi, and I never believed it in the first place, was because this organization does not do panic. They would not have had one moment make them make a massive decision. That's just not what they do. They didn't panic with Conforto. They didn't panic with Muncy early in the season. Didn't panic with Pages earlier in the season. So that's just kind of how it plays out. Chris Frostaker, 5130. Kiké kept licking those popsicles, and now he's paying free. Bruh. I like it. Bruh. By the way, I'm headed to the stadium shortly here. I'm going to run into Gavin Lux, and I have saved on my phone the Gavin Lux bruh. And I'm going to show him that, and I want his opinion on, hey, Gavin, like this, we retired. I want to see what he thinks of the new bruh, too. Oscar Zapata, D-Smack is an imposter. Where's the real D-Mac? He's here. He's here in the flesh. Tequila shots do make the pain go away, D-Mac. Yeah, it's short-lived. 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. New Shohei merch. CC Debt, here I come. Yeah, hey, take my money when it comes to Shohei Ohtani merch. And this t-shirt that Noel's cooked up is straight gas, as the kids say. Or what I get after Taco Bell. The moment I saw Kiké bump Gavin Lux, that's when I knew he's back. I know. Did you guys see they did the low 4? I coined that phrase, by the way, the low 4. The crotch bump. I saw that. D-Mac, do you still update your MySpace Dodgers fan page? I do. I snafu absolutely do. That's a good comment of the show. Contender. D-Mac is, okay, this is from Oscar Zapata. D-Mac is Conforto's single OnlyFans subscriber. Yeah.
Finish him.
Hey, yo! As Rob would say. Send Kiké back on the injured list. Why would you do that? We've got Himmy Turner Conforto needs some glasses and a popsicle bat. There you go. Have Conforto hang out with. I was joking with Dave Vassay. I was like, "Hey DV, man, you gotta initiate the Michael Conforto standing ovation." And he said, hey, "I've done my job with Conforto." He did the handshake, but I've tried. Okay, so maybe that way have him hang out with JD Martinez, get him the glasses. But hey, 2 solid nights for sure. Jack Geezy, how valuable has Kershaw been for the 2025 Dodgers? He's been incredible. And Clayton Kershaw is on the mound tonight. And yes, you can look at his numbers and say, oh, hey, he's still got it. My man still got it. A 3.13 ERA in 16 games, 83 and a thirds innings. My man could go out there and try to have a 5 ERA and somehow be a 3 ERA. All the guy knows how to do is have success, but it's not just the numbers. It's not just the numbers. Tonight, Kersh is going on regular rest. You know why? So Shohei can pitch on Wednesday. Clayton Kershaw is the guy. And Dave Roberts was asked who has been the constants on this team. He named 2 players, said Freddie Freeman and Clayton Kershaw. Interesting. Lone Lee GH. And I would say Shohei. Shohei hasn't been a constant. I mean, come on. Can we have a better luck next year shirt made for in the Padres font? Yeah, shout out to the Mariners yesterday for beating the Padres. Chris Frostegger, D-Mac, what is up? Your next Shoey should be with tequila instead of a Pacifico. Okay. We'll think of some other stuff we can do. We've got some more. D-Mac still downloads music from LimeWire. We've got Himmy Turner, Michael. Let's do some more here. I think if Kim is taking, that's what will DFA. If Kim is raking, that's what will DFA Conforto. If Kim come back and hits, I think you're right. Kershaw's gritty as F. That's from MM. We have Beerasama. Clayton Kershaw is my number 2 starter. I don't care what anyone says. Beerasama. Come on. There's no one that loves Clayton Kershaw more than me. You guys know, I created Christianity, right? The religion of Clayton Edward Kershaw. We're my devout Christians. But he's your number 2 starter over Blake Snell, who, by the way, welcomed a new child into the world. Blake Snell wasn't available the night after his start because he was off taking care of family business. So congratulations to Snellzilla. Love that. But Yamamoto, who Dave just called a killer, who's been top 10 all year. Shohei Ohtani, who's looking dominant. Tyler Glasnow and Kersh. Maybe you can have that debate, but I still think the big stuff of Tyler Glasnow probably gives him the edge. But number 2 starter, Beerasama. I love you, my man. But he ain't the number 2 starter, okay? Take your feelings out of your takes right there, okay? We've got Himmy Turner, Blake Snell, Petco Park. Wait, Ohtani's not pitching today. Nope, he was pitching tomorrow. I like this. This is what Beerasama said. No, it says, I bring my fight to the facts. D-Mac.
That's a good one.
It's the other way around. It's bring your facts to the fight. But I see what you did right there, so I'll give you a nice little comment of the show. We've got Shohei is leading the National League in OPS by a good amount. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's still having a fantastic season. Let's do some more comments here. We've got Steve. His new name because of the UPS by mostly downs is confounding. D-Mac Padre said 2020 was fake, but they threw a parade after their 2020 wildcard win. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of with Dave Roberts. I asked Dave about their success against the Padres this year and if he was happy with it. And Dave, you could kind of tell, was like, hey, man, like, yeah, you know, we had a good year against them. We won 9 of 13 games, but I'm moving on past the Padres. But, you know, it's interesting. When I asked Dalton Rushing about having more confidence, I asked Dalton Rushing about how that 3-run home run on Sunday was going to give him more confidence. And one thing that Dalton Rushing told me was, yeah, and the reason why is because he knows he's going to be in that situation again when we face those guys again, meaning that he thinks they'll see them again in the postseason. That's pretty interesting to me because if these two teams match up, like I said, I can't say the player's name, but this Dodgers team does not like that Padres team. And this rivalry is real. Any Dodgers fan that says that the Dodgers versus the Padres is not a rivalry has not heard the players and how they feel about this rivalry. So it is 100% a rivalry. 100% a rivalry right now. And I changed my tune on that. I was the person that said, no, it's a little bro, big bro. It's a little summer fling, nothing serious. But no, I mean, it is the premier matchup in Major League Baseball right now. It is the modern day Red Sox Yankees from 03 and 04. These teams, not only are they competitive, but these teams, they want to beat each other very badly on the diamond. And let's just say that. And it is 100% a real rivalry. And it's the biggest rivalry. I think it's honestly, I would put the Dodgers versus Padres as really the best pro sports rivalry right now. I mean, is there anything in the NBA that's close to Dodgers Padres? The NBA is this soft buddy league. Everyone daps up. And when's the time you see the Dodgers and Padres dapping up after a win or a loss? The NBA, it's like jersey exchanges, dapping up, all this love. I mean, I think Grizzlies Warriors was kind of interesting, kind of going back and forth, but there's nothing close to it in the NBA. I think in the NFL, I mean, what, Rams Lions? I mean, no, right? I mean, the 49ers Rams, not really. I mean, I truly believe that, I mean, you look at like Chiefs Bills, of course, is a really good matchup for sure. But as far as just, it's not like it's Bengals Steelers like we saw for a couple of years, and Seahawks 49ers, Seahawks Rams. I mean, I truly believe the Dodgers versus the Padres is the most heated sports rivalry in professional sports right now. All right, let's do some more comments down below. Then we're going to get to that walk-off. We're running out of time here on Dodgers Dugout Live, but let's do some more here, show you guys some love. Back in the studio, we've got D-Mac. Call it like it is. It's Petco Park, P-E-D. Hey, I was the one who said you can't spell Padres without P-E-D, so I'm cool with that. We've got Carmish. If Conforto gets a double and a couple more hits, Dave is going to bat him leadoff. I'm going to give that a bruh. Give that a bruh.
D-Mac, this one might be comment of the show.
All right, what do we got, Noel?
Check out this top one from Christopher.
Christopher Nugent. Taylor Swift got a ring before the Padres. Oh, wow. There you go. Finish him. That's a comment of the show. Let's run that back. Who's the user? I want to give it run that back, Noel.
Control Z action.
Control Z action. Christopher Nugent, you are the winner of the comment of the show. We're going to post this on our Instagram and our X. And it is that Taylor Swift got a ring before the Padres. Wow. That's the comment of the show. A fantastic burn. That is elite. The loneliest trophy case in sports. But all right, guys, running out of time, so let's go to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone.
All right, for the walk-off, I want to talk a little Cal Raleigh and Mike Piazza, because people are saying Cal Raleigh is having the best season as a catcher, and he is having a phenomenal season. I still think that, yes, Judge has missed a lot of games. I still think that Judge is right up there. But 50 home runs for Cal Raleigh. The big dumper helped the Dodgers out yesterday. Also 107 RBI. And yes, it's a fantastic season. Don't get me wrong. But don't let home runs just dictate what a good or bad offensive season is. I mean, he has a 161 weighted runs created plus, has 50 home runs, 107 RBI in 129 games, also has a 27.1% strikeout rate, a 27.1% strikeout rate. He's struck out this year 154 times in 485 at-bats. And this is kind of more of a shine the light on Mike Piazza. I see a question here about this. And the truth is, Mike Piazza in 1997, this is one of the best seasons ever. This is arguably the best season ever for a Dodger. Of course, Shohei last year, right up there. But 1997, Mike Piazza is better than 2025 Cal Raleigh. That year, Mike Piazza hit 362, had a 431 on base and a 638 slug, a 183 weighted runs created plus. Also hit homers, 40 home runs, 124 RBI in 152 games. A 9.1 F4. That was a better season than Cal Raleigh. So also, we've got a t-shirt we're debuting. Want to fire that up on the grill?
Let's do it. Let me resize it for you real quick.
So go cop our new Shohei Ohtani t-shirt. And this really gives you the feel of, okay, this is what two-way players do, right? It's Shohei Ohtani batting, then looking in the mirror.
Whoa, we're having some technical. It's hiding from you.
It's hiding from me. Okay, well, I'll describe the shirt too, though. We got Shohei Ohtani. He's looking in the mirror, and here we go. Just drag it up. You just have the whole screen if you want. There we go. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Okay, there it is. I like it. Look at this. You got Shohei looking in the mirror, and in the mirror, it's a bat, and he's pitching to himself. You got the black. You got the blue. This is an absolute banger of a t-shirt. This is straight fire, straight gas. Go pick this up at www.
Dropping tomorrow when he pitches and when it's his bobblehead night. So it's coming out tomorrow.
Go cop at gearup.la, guys. Go cop if you want to support the show. But that's going to over this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Special thanks to producer Noel. Special thanks to Jose Mota. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you want to support this show every single day. Hit the like button, drop a comment down below. We do have the Discord down below in the comment section, I believe, in the info. So look for that. Join thousands and thousands of Dodgers fans who are talking ball all day, air day on the Discord. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.